Alright, well, as you can see here, I got a pretty crusty, dusty TV. This helped clean out my grandpa's old garage, and I found this Panasonic Transistor portable TV. It was made in 1969, and, well, that's all I honestly know about it. I tried to look some stuff up, and there's some info out there, but see if we can't get the model down here. Focus. There. It's a pretty dirty one. So we're going to go ahead and clean this up. And, well, we're going to open it up, see what it looks like on the inside too, and see if there's anything we need to do to make it work again. It does come with a power cord, so I don't have to worry about the battery pack, because there is none. I can't find one on the internet. I haven't really searched too hard, I have to admit. I'm sure I can find one if I search a little harder. But, alright, I'm just go ahead and grab all the cleaning stuff, and we'll just get all this dust and debris and we'll get all that cleaned up, and we'll see what it looks like. Alright, so we'll go ahead and start getting this thing wiped down. Just got so much thick dust on it, I'm going to just go ahead and take a piece of paper towel and kind of wipe some of this thick dust off of here. Should make it a little easier to clean. I got one of these little brushes to, get right down in there. We just removed the power cord plug. There we go. And it's probably going to be pretty filthy in there. Kind of hard to see, but I can already kind of see some corrosion happening. Doesn't really surprise me any. We'll see if we can't get them cleaned up. If not, we'll figure something out. We'll keep getting all this crud out of here. It'd be kind of cool if it would actually work, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, this definitely makes a huge mess. These are knobs, by the way. You got a vertical hold and a horizontal hold. So you can adjust the picture. If we get it working, I'll show you what they do. Yeah, actually, right here, see if I can't, give me a hard one, but right there, that's where the battery pack would go. I don't know if I can get a better view in there. There we go. See, it says right there, caution, for use with rechargeable battery pack, Panasonic model, and it gives the model number. Yep. Looking through the bottom, it kind of looks like it's in pretty decent, clean shape on the inside, just for this little grill, but again, we'll find out when we open it here real soon. Won't get too crazy with the cleaning part, just get most of it up, and we'll do the detail cleaning when it's torn apart, opened up, and all that fun stuff. Okay. We'll go ahead and start opening this up. First, I'm just going to go ahead and take this antenna wire off. There we go. Okay. Let's see, where to keep the screws. Oh, there's a good spot right there. Yeah, the lighting's not that great in here. I do apologize. Well, the camera's not that great either. Okay, very carefully because we still have terminal screws that are attached. But it's already not looking too bad. Okay, obviously you can't see it, so I'm going to have to flip this down. Try and get some of that light on it, maybe. See, how's that? There we go. It's dirty. Definitely dirty. So it's going to need some cleaning. Alright, so I took a look at it a little bit more, which I should have done before all this, but whatever. I got the back taken off, as you can see. It's just going to make things a little easier. We can go ahead and we're just going to get some of this dust cleared up. I found some screws in here and screws down below that look like they hold a lot of this in place. So we'll take those apart and we'll pull it out to try and clean it up some more and get a little closer look at everything, like all the caps and connections and whatnot, and just make sure it's okay. I don't know if I'm going to go to the extent of like doing a cap kit on this or anything like that, you know, if it works. We'll just see. Really wouldn't be a bad idea, even if it was working. I gotta be careful with this connector right here. This is the end of that CRT tube, right where the neck board on like a lot of like modern rastered TVs you would find. Well, not modern. They're not very modern. Okay. So we'll go ahead and remove the screws on the bottom here. These ones right here. comes out the bottom right there. You can see the transistors. Okay, so we removed this screw and this screw now. We should be able to pull most of this out. Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot. There's still a couple screws up inside of the game, or in the monitor, that we have to undo. They're up in here. There's a couple up in here, I believe, too. Oh yeah, I took a minute to kind of look this thing over a little bit more, and so pretty much I've got to disconnect a couple more wires yet that run into the yoke, and sadly this ground wire that goes into the yoke, it's not on like a quick disconnect or a spade like these, like this green wire. I can take it, it slides right off. There's a little pin that it goes onto. And the same with this yellow wire right here. So now that's disconnected. This one might need to be disconnected too, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. This one though, it's soldered. So just to save a little time, I'm just going to go ahead and clip the wire there. And when I'm ready to hook it all back up, I'll just restrip it and solder it back to that little lug. I may end up having to do a cap kit on this anyway. We will see. Okay. But we got all that disconnected now. This is still not going to slide out all the way because we have connections over here that we need to remove yet too. So we'll just slide that back up. And over here, we have to remove a couple of parts as well, just to give us a little more access. So we'll go ahead and get this taken off. This is the plug that you put your rechargeable battery pack on. See, so that's connected to it as well. See. So we got that out of the way. And as you can see, we have our tuner that's also wired into everything here too. We might have to take it out, or we might get lucky and be able to undo some of these twist ties and get it out that way. Well, this section at least, and we can worry about the tuner section in a little bit. If I can get this twist tie untwisted. There we go. There's that one. There's another one in there too. There's a couple of them, it looks like. If I can get enough loose wire, it'll make things just a little bit easier for me. Alright. Let's see how far we've come so far. And we do have to be careful because the anode is still connected. Alright, got us another one here to disconnect. The next ones we're going to have to disconnect are going to be our audio wires. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is take a quick little picture of how they're placed. So when I put it back together, I don't miss anything. So I'll get them unplugged real fast. Now that I got my picture. Hopefully get them unplugged real fast. There's one. There's two. Okay. Got another grounding clip to remove. There we are. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that my camera actually turned off or died. I'm not really sure. But I went and got the anode taken off. And essentially what I did was I used my high voltage probe. And I connected the alligator clip to the chassis. Which that part of the chassis is directly connected to the high voltage cage. I didn't expect there to be any voltage in here. I really didn't. But I still use it just in case. It's pretty nasty. But thankfully the rubber is actually not all that bad. So should be salvageable, which is cool. I really didn't want it to go any farther than that. But again, we'll just have to see. And carefully I'm going to move this. I'll set it down so I can do this real quick. What we'll kind of do right now is we're just going to very carefully just like take a piece of paper towel and a little brush and go over some of this stuff here just to try and get it as clean as we possibly can. Now I did make a dumb move right there back over here. There's a hole in the CRT that the anode attaches to, and when I get a better angle and a little better light on it, I'll show you it, but you kind of want to stay away from that as best as you can. Again, static electricity and all that kind of stuff can build a charge inside the CRT, which could discharge onto you, and it might not be as bad as, say, like if you turned on the TV, turned it off, and then, I don't know, lick the anode, but it's not going to be fun either way, so just try to avoid it if you can. And we got a little bit of that done. I'll be really careful with this, because you're getting your hands in here, and that's already dumb enough as it is, but you just got to be real careful. Now, I've seen people use different types of cleaners and stuff as I've grown up and worked in arcades, but I'm just not a fan of using them myself, so I just don't. Not on like the CRT tubes or anything. I'm really picky about it. Just me being over worried about it. Okay. So it's not cleaning up too badly. There is a potential we might be able to test this thing today. Who knows? Okay, so I'm going to keep on wiping some of this heavy dust off. And as soon as I get this done and it's time to do a little more fine cleaning, I'll bring you guys back and we'll go ahead and dial in the rest. Alright, be right back here. Alrighty, so I just went through and cleaned a bunch of this up. Got all that dust and everything off of there. We're going to go ahead and reconnect this anode real quick. Now the anode hole is right there. It's really difficult to see. I don't have that great a light for it, but There you go. So I'm going to try and carefully get that back into place without zapping myself. Okay, so after a lot of dinking around, I finally got it hooked up. And what we want to do now, which I already hooked up the ground wire to the chassis, but we have to hook up the 2 speaker wires now. And I am going to double check on my phone, because I put a picture on there to remember how to hook the speaker wires up. Okay, now I remember. That pin right there, which will be difficult to see. There we go. That pin right there. That's our blue wire. And that pin right there is where our black wire, or our ground wire, will go. So we'll get this a little bit closer because there's not really that much wire to work with. And just very carefully try and get these hooked up. Yeah, we're going to have to get this set in here a little bit more. Probably get something underneath it to keep it standing upright somehow. Okay. Our blue wire. And we will get this hooked up at some point. Okay. There we go. Get our black wire on there. Okay. It'll be hard to see. Get the light in there. Alright, yep. Here we go. They're hooked back up. Now, we need to get this board put the rest of the way back in. And fish the yoke wires through. Make sure I got the yoke wires where I want them. Let's see if we go. Yep. Alright. We just really carefully. Oh, there is one wire we forgot to hook up. That's this other ground to the chassis here. There we go. Let's slide this back into place. Alright. Let's make sure we have everything in view. There's our ground. There's our yeller. Okay. This one is going to go to this pin right down here. The green one goes right up to this pin. Okay. Now as you remember, this ground wire, we have to strip it and solder it right to that lug right there. So I'm going to go ahead and get the soldering iron plugged in, and we'll get that all hooked back up next. Okay, let's take a look at that. Yep. Okay, we are good right there. Yeah, the next thing I'll be doing Go ahead and hook this back up to the neck. Being really careful doing this, because I don't want to break that neck, crack it, break a pin off, none of that. Okay, there we go. Hook back up. Alright, now that that's hooked back up, we're going to go ahead and put the screw for up here and for right here back in.
First. This one's gonna be the fun one.
Alright, that's all set up. Zoom you out, and we're going to get the screws in the bottom now. Alright. Okay. I'll go ahead and get our plate on there.
Now we'll tighten them down.
Okay. Now, go ahead and get battery plug screwed back in too. Okay, that's all screwed back down. We got everything screwed back in, so now we can start cleaning the outside pieces, and we'll start with the back here. We'll get the inside of the back all cleaned up, and then we'll get all these wires reattached so that we can get the back attached and start cleaning the exterior. I'm actually going to be using Fantastic to clean this. You can use simple green as well. That's perfectly fine. Only reason I'm using this is just, it was actually very, I don't know, it was right there. First thing I could grab. I guess it's not as aggressive as simple green, maybe. Like, I've used simple green before and started cutting into like colors and letters, things like that, like the inks, I guess you could say. I could have just been being a little overly aggressive with the scrubbing or something, but I haven't had that problem ever with Fantastic. And I know on the front of this, there's some of the ink lettering to say, you know, what your dials are and such. And I just don't want to accidentally fade any of that or lift it up, so I'll try Fantastic out and see if it'll work the same way it works on the games when I clean them. I mean, this is a pretty strong cleaner too, don't get me wrong. and it could probably just as easily lift the ink and fade colors and paint and stuff. I just personally haven't had a problem with it yet. Yet is the key word.
I should also point out that I am not cleaning these little boards or contacts with this Fantastic. I'm doing my best to kind of keep that away from it. Those are actually in pretty good shape. But if I were to clean them, I'd probably use like a wire brush or some kind of contact cleaner, something that's not too aggressive. I'd probably just first try to polish them up, really, with a wire brush and maybe some emery cloth. That's a big clump of dust right there. Get a little brush off of that part. Have to redo the whole thing again, but that's what happens. You don't pay attention.
We'll get the back of this cleaned up a little too. So basically, I'm not too worried about getting it super clean on the inside of this door. Because I'm going to be opening it back up again once I get the caps. I mainly want to get this thing nice and cleaned up, looking presentable, check it out, see if it works in general, and kind of go from there. Okay, so that's fairly cleaned up. So, we're going to go ahead and hook all the wires back up where they're supposed to go. And then we will get everything cleaned up. And all we have left is our antenna wire. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and we're going to get the back on here real quick like. Now, I did not put those little twist ties back on the wires, because again, I'm going to be taking this apart once I get the capacitors figured out. So, those will go back on after I do that. It'll be fine for just a quick little test. Okay. Now that that's all done, we're going to go ahead and clean the rest of the exterior here, because this is filthy too. Ugh. Okay. Well, it's not perfect, but it'll do for now. So, I'm going to go ahead and find the power cord. I set it down somewhere. And then we will test it out and see, well, if it works anymore. Alright, see you in a sec. Alright, so I found the cord, got it all plugged in, and we're going to go ahead and test it out and just see if it works in general. If it does, sweet, that's awesome. And even if it does, I'm still going to go ahead and get a cap kit set up for it, and we're going to completely gut it out in a whole nother video, but we'll do that. Tear it all to pieces and clean every little nook and cranny and make it really nice. I'm just going to go ahead and pre-turn it on. Won't turn the volume up too much because it's one of those types where the volume and power is the same potentiometer. So we got that on, and we're going to go ahead and fire it up, and we're going to see what happens. Took it a second to warm up, but it's doing something. Speaker sounds like it's doing good. Yeah, the light doesn't work for here. That doesn't surprise me any. switch over to the radio once. Okay. Well, the radio's working. Alright, that's pretty cool. Flip that back to the TV. Yeah, it definitely needs some adjusting. Needs to go down a little bit more. Here's some fine tuning knobs in the back. Not the two that I was showing you earlier. Right on the inside, we have to take the back off to do it. We're not going to do it right now though. But it's working. So that's awesome. But still going to do all the little caps in it. And we'll completely gut the whole thing. And clean every nook and cranny and make sure all the little cool bells and whistles work. Even the little light that goes right here. That I would like to have working. Alright. Well, sweet. So, stick around for part 2. That's when we'll go through and make up a cap kit for it. I'm going to research, see if they have a cap kit. I have my doubts that they do, so I'm just going to be prepared to make one. And then that's when we'll start tearing all the pieces so we can actually get it really clean. While we're waiting for any of the caps I'll have to order, and we'll get this thing all hammered out. Alright, well until next time, on to the next project now.